So just got the phone call that the lift is open and we are able to go take the truck over there, get it on the lift, and get the cover pulled off of the rear end and get the transmission pulled out. So I'm gonna haul butt over there in the truck. We gotta bring some tools with us and our little to-go bag, and we'll get that pulled out. But after looking, when I cut the clip earlier and got online, I don't think we've got the right or the wrong crank pulley on there. I don't think the harmonic balancer was seated all the way. So I pulled the crank pulley off. Obviously looking down, I can't see it. And when you get behind there, you can kind of see, I mean, it looks like that's where it needs to be. I'll show you a picture in the clip here. The snout of the crank is not flush with the inside of the balancer, which means it can go back that much more. The gap it's sticking out is about how much that pulley needs to go towards the block of the motor. So I couldn't hardly get in there. If I'd have got my big impact in there, I'd have probably been able to seat it a little bit better, but this little thing don't want to do it, which is understandable. And then with a bar, I can't seat it. I'm turning the motor over. So I'm gonna end up pulling the balancer off, checking everything, make sure it's clean. I'll probably polish the front end of the crank anyways, and then I'll try and reseat it. But anyways, I'm not gonna mess with it right now. I'd rather do that while it's on the lift. So we just buttoned everything back up on that. We threw the belt on it. I'm gonna take you guys along and we're gonna put this bad boy in the lift and get the transmission pulled. I don't know if the audio is gonna be that great. It's kind of loud in here, but this truck is just so much fun to drive. I mean, even when it sucks, it never sucks, you know? Cold pizza is never bad pizza, right? That's the best way to use that. I could use another analogy, but I want to keep this PG. Yeah. This thing has just turned so many heads. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's why I built this truck. Like, not only I love this body style, but I like other people's enjoyment out of this truck too. So it just kind of makes me feel good about building it. But anyways, we're gonna be there in just a second. I just, it was on my mind, just had to speak it. So, but yeah, we're getting ready to pull in. So we'll be back in just a minute. She is going up. Alright, so I know it's kind of a crappy view, but unfortunately there's nothing really to attach to on the tank. So I'm going to roll forward and show you guys what we're doing. So there's a bolt right here. So we got to pull this bolt out, right? That holds the slide pin in here for this center section. So you can kind of reach in here and get this pushed out. Maybe. Is there another one on the other side? May need persuading. So, let me get this rolled. Try not to get all this crap on the tires. Alright. There we go. Okay. So now, and get this rolled back. You just got to get the load off of it. And hey, it'll do that right there. Alright, so now, these are free, so we're gonna drop that out. They're actually not in bad shape. I'm gonna pull this one out, and then these spin freely. So now we're gonna have to spin the drive shaft to get that lined up where we want it. So let's turn this back like so. Hey, there we go. We got our window of opportunity. Now, with our light, we'll shine in here. We gotta pull these clips off of these axles. I just need to see what the spline is. I don't really have to dig into these too much, but there's a C-clip right here that is a retainer clip for the axle. So we gotta get that plopped out. So bear with me, and we'll get that pulled. All right, if you're going any further than what I'm doing right now, you're gonna need to pull your wheel and tire like so. So I had to pull my tire, my adapter, set those all out. I've got to pull this drum off because I'm going to end up having to, never mind. Spoke too soon. So hey, that's actually all I needed to do. Thankfully, I got ahead of myself there. So you're going to need to push this axle, if you guys see. This is going to come forward. You can see that last little bit. So we'll push it forward just enough to where this little clip right here just dropped out. So this is our axle retainer. It's gonna hook into that little horseshoe right there. Let me get a light on it so I can show you guys a little bit better. So if you look, see that's got a horseshoe on it? Okay, so that is where that retainer clip is gonna go. So now we have the ability to count our teeth. So I'm gonna clean that off, clean it real good. And then I'm going to mark it with a pen and count our teeth. And that will determine what kit we're gonna run for running the posi on this, because they have two different. I think they've got a 30 and a 33. So I didn't want to order one just on a whim, and the years, because somebody could have put axles in this thing, somebody could have done all kinds of stuff. So it's just as easy. Drop this cover. The pan gasket was already leaking, so I needed to pull the cover anyways. Takes 2 seconds, and boom, we can count our teeth. Apologize for speaking too soon on the axle there. So you don't have to do anything with your brakes. I was getting ready to back this drum off. Don't need to do that. So I'm gonna get these counted, and then we're gonna move on to pulling the transmission. Yeehaw. Well, we made an interesting discovery here. The truck does not have 410s in it, does not have 373s or anything close. It has 308s in it. So that's a game changer. This thing's been as rowdy as it is with a 308, which is kind of cool, but also kind of crappy, because it means that I can't go, for this style, can't go any lower as far as the rear end gear. I can put a posi in it, which I still will do, but the rear gear is as low as it's going to get. So unfortunately, the next step is the transmission. Man, it's a kind of a battle there, you know. Riding around town, it's going to be sweet for being a street rod, but when we go to do the power tour, man, it's just going to kill me in fuel. So we're thinking about doing a 4L80 swap in it. So I don't think it's going to be that much. Well, I know it's not going to be that much work. I've just got to get my hands on one. The converter, I believe, will switch over, so we're good there. And hopefully my drive shaft isn't going to be too much of a difference there. But yeah, kind of sucks. Didn't really expect that one. Either way, I was going to have to pull the transmission out and get it sent out. But if I'm going to have to pull that one out because it's damaged, I might as well put something else back in it that is going to suit this truck a little bit better. So that's where we're at right now. She sets a little torn apart. I'm going to end up putting the rear cover back on just to get this thing rolled out of the way for now. But yeah, kind of a bummer. So we will we'll be addressing the rest of this tomorrow. So stay tuned. We'll be back. Also like to give a shout out to One More Time Racing for letting us borrow the rack back there. You can see they are the local hookup here in Melbourne, Florida for all Corvette things. This is a customer's car they're working on. That's one of the builds. Another potential build, getting a cage put in this car. There's another Corvette in there, and then this one was a customer's that was wrecked that they are building a new car out of. We've also got some for sale. We got this Camaro. If you guys are interested, you guys can leave a comment in the comment section. Another Trek Corvette, another future build, and then like I said, there's some in there. If you guys are interested, leave a comment. I'll get you some information about that car and see if we can get this thing sold. The car is super badass on the track. It's set up for kind of a beginner setup, but it's got a 6.2 in it, and a lot of full cage, a lot of good accessories. So that is that. Again, gotta give a shout out to the crew there. So I appreciate that.